Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Mason and I am the project manager of creating the next generation smartphone. I'm currently at Johns Hopkins getting an MBA in leading organizations. Today I'm going to give a high level overview of the process of coming up with the project plan, as well as challenges I saw during the project and what I learned for future projects. To start, I first created a statement of work. In this document, I outlined the major tasks and activities of the project. In order to come up with the tasks, I first thought about our project team itself and how I would divide our team into two different sub teams, which would come together to create the smartphone. I knew we were going to have an hardware manager as well as someone overseeing the software side of the project. The creation of these two could happen at the same time, making them concurrent tasks. However, throughout the project, we would have to come together as a team to check in, ensure we're on track, and that our goals were being met. Once the tasks were set, I added milestone tasks so that the team could have a better understanding of significant events and the progress being made. With this in mind, I started to create the schedule. Within the first step, called the forward pass, I noted what would be the earliest I could start and finish tasks. Secondly, I determined what's the latest I could start and finish the tasks. To finish, I assessed which tasks could have flexibility versus ones with no flexibility. Having these three steps outlined helps me put together the schedule in a way that made the most sense. In order to create a resource estimate, I had to keep in mind the project budget of $200,000 and 600 staff days. Since this project was only 6 months long, the max I was going to pay the consultant was $50,000. This was equivalent to salaries of consultant that I found throughout my research in the beginning of the project. This left $150,000 between hardware and software. The hardware I knew would be less expensive because we weren't tasked with creating the phones in bulk yet. Mass ordering of the new phones was therefore out of our project scope. Therefore, the costs were going to be minimized since we didn't have to order in bulk. Because of this, I allocated just $10,000 to hardware and the remaining budget was towards software. Deciding who was responsible for what within the project was fairly easy for this because of the subgroups that I had previously mentioned. The subgroups consisted of Dan and Ben, whose main role was to focus on the hardware. Then we have Carla, Elsa, and Dale, whose main goal was to complete the software. As the project manager, I would oversee both teams and make sure each was achieving their goals. The idea behind hiring a software consultant was because I wanted to have someone who had subject matter expertise, which my team did not have. Communicating to the stakeholders about the progress that the project was making was the job of Carla and myself. We worked together to publish monthly memos to our client. We believed monthly was the best frequency and via email was the best medium to be mindful of everyone's time, but also provide a valuable update. The most challenging part of the project was the risk analysis. We had to come together as a team to really think about all the possibilities that could go wrong and how we would react if this did in fact come up. I also then had to come up with the probabilities that each would occur, when in reality, I didn't necessarily have insight to that. However, I learned from the risk analysis how to properly document, rank, assign, and overcome each risk. On the screen, you'll see the first major risk that we thought of as a team. We believed that there was a high probability that factories would have low supplies, which would impact delays in the cost. Because of this, our strategy was to buy products early and set aside contingency funds in case the products were more expensive than we had originally planned. As previously mentioned, I learned how to properly document these risks so that the project team can be proactive in overcoming these challenges. This was definitely the biggest learning lesson for me as a project manager. I learned that not everything was going to go your way, but if you can be proactive in addressing the challenges, it will pay dividends when the challenge actually presents itself. All in all, I was extremely satisfied with this project. I hope that you, as my client, are as well, and we are happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.